trying to imagine like how your child is going to take to it, and you want them to be as successful as they possibly can, but also to have an enjoyable experience. And that's hello, thanks for clicking on today's video. Welcome, my name is Ryder, and if you're new here or not new here, I'm probably gonna keep, reintroducing myself because this still is all new to me. But anyways, I homeschool our 2 kids here in the state of Texas, and this is honestly our first year homeschooling. So I've never been a teacher before. This is totally new. I am registered as a registered nurse in the state of Texas, so I lean heavily on my compassion, multitasking, problem-solving skills to homeschool my kids, and so far it's working. So without further ado, let's get into why you clicked on this video, which is to learn about this curriculum so that you can help your kiddo feel confident, be happy, be educated, and what's the best option out there. And I'm coming to give you something that I wish I had clicked on or to know, because you don't want to skip on the kids, right? I'm giving you a video, no skimp. I'm super excited about it. First, we're gonna get into what are we gonna get into? What are we getting into? You want the pros or the cons first? I'm kind of give me the cons and then follow up with the pros, okay? Leave me on a happy note. So let's just get into the cons. First, this is a review video. If I didn't put that somewhere on the title or description. This is a review video for our reading and language arts curriculum, which is all about reading. Let me get, I don't know why I put it all the way over here, but I did. My basket. And our letter tile board. Okay, so let me take my little sticky note bag. Okay, so I'm reviewing All About Reading. This is the level 1. This is actually a teacher's manual. And so, yeah, let's get right into it. First, we're gonna talk about the cons. And I've got I think 5 things. Price, I wrote a note too, so I don't get too many squirrels. Price, prep, plan, and practicality, okay? So the first one that I'm gonna talk about is con, and the only con I have for this curriculum is the prep. Oh my gosh. It's really not bad, and it's actually really fun. But if you think you're just going to order it, get it in the mail, and then just open and do nothing else, you're sadly mistaken. And if you're like me, a little bit of a procrastinator, then yeah, you don't want to pull this out 2 weeks before you're trying to start with all the other things you're trying to get organized for your kids, the pencils and the crayons and the schedule and the sports and all the things, right? So what I will say as far as prep goes, purchase this maybe at least a month before you plan on using it or starting, whatever your schedule is going to be for your homeschool. I think that's going to be the best. It's going to be low stress. You're going to be able to pick it up, flip through the first 10 or 20 pages of the teacher's manual, get a feel for, the author, the purpose, the style, things like that. You can flip through at your leisure. And store that information. And then prep wise, what I will say the easiest, for some reason, this is how I did it. So we do our lessons 4 days a week, Monday through Thursday, traditionally. This curriculum has 53 lessons in it. I didn't buy this a month. I bought it a month in advance, but then I was like, oh, I'll have time to prep, whatever. I waited until 2 weeks before our homeschool was supposed to start to really see what the prep was like. I did watch videos, and I think that kind of scared me a little bit, or it made me kind of put it to the backside, put it on the back burner. And so what I will say is, because we do lessons 4 days a week, I prepped for the first 2 weeks. So I did 8 lessons. So on a Friday, I sat down and I prepped 8 lessons. To do 8, and for some reason I just kept prepping 8 lessons at a time. To get 8 lessons prepped, it took me anywhere from an hour to 2 hours with the TV on, the snacks, your scissors, your sheet protectors, your stapler, and I think that's pretty much all you need. No hole punches or anything like that. It took me an hour to 2 hours to get 8 lessons done. And if there's 53 lessons, you do the math on how many hours it'll take. I'm definitely not someone that's going to be able to sit down uninterrupted and prep this on a full day. I just need to change things up. I need to work out. I need to cook dinner. I need to interact with my kids. I need to put them down for a nap. So it wasn't practical for me to just sit down a whole day and knock this out. Maybe if I planned it better and my kids are away with their grandparents or something like that. But just to kind of give you the skinny on that, Great, wonderful. Don't be a procrastinator like me, or be organized. Plan when you're going to use it. Do your research reviews. Try to get it a month ahead at least, so you got to read through it, get a feel for it, and all that. So yeah, that's the only con I have. So let's get into the other specs of this, so you know what to expect, what is it, and what our real thoughts are. Once though, what I will say about that con is the prep. Once I prepped it, every day, literally open and go. So let me just turn to lesson number 1. Teacher's manual starts on page 35 in this. And it literally tells you, like, gives you the little boxes, and you can check off what you need. So it tells you the phonogram cards, which we'll go over those. It tells you the reading pages, which will be in the student's activity book, which I don't have anymore because I prepped all the lessons, finally, thank God. But they're just like already perforated, so you just tear them out. Tear out the ones you need for each lesson. And so this told me I just needed page number 9, and then I needed the word cards, and then your progress chart, which is super cute. It has like a little star path, and your child puts their little stars every time they complete a lesson. So when you get your lesson all prepped, cut out, put away, like here. Okay, so that's binder number 2. You probably would need for the prep, I would say at least like a 3-inch and up binder. I already have these binders, and I was not going to go and buy anymore, okay? Or if I could keep from it, and I did. So this was a 1/2-inch binder, and the other one is a 1.5-inch. So I got by with like, what is that, 2 inches? But just to be comfortable, I would just do a 3. So lesson number 1 is in here. Super fun, and I've got these sheet protectors that I got at Walmart, but you can get them anywhere. Walmart, Target, Office Depot. I just had a ton from other things we've done, so I just repurposed, took out the old stuff, threw it away. And literally, here's lesson number 1. So in that kids activity book, this perforated page, I was able to take out page number 9, I think is what it says. And then it had me like a little, I don't know what you call those dots, to cut out. And I just got paper clips and like attached it to, attached it to the page that I would need for that lesson. So once you get your prep out of the way, you can literally put them all in the sleeves, and it literally is open and go every day. Once you get it prepped, all you do is open it up to wherever you're going to be starting as, the teacher. This little tan or yellow page in that lesson is what you're going to need. So it'll tell you the objective of this lesson, what you'll need, like a couple of sentences or paragraph-esque on like before you begin. So kind of giving you some background information on what to expect with today's lesson. And then it'll give you a preview of the sound so that you know what sound that letter is going to make for your child. So you're not just like looking at it blindly. So it's really quick. I like that it's like 1 page, like a resume. Okay, just give me the 1 page. So I can just look, it's all neat, it's simple. And so it was really easy to do that every day, to like sit down next to my kid while he's practicing his handwriting and all that good stuff, and me be able to glance over this and then, kind of be ready to rock and roll. So the prep is not that bad. Take time to get it organized, and your curriculum, you'll just be like every day. Super, super simple. I needed some more energy or just something to drink. Okay, so I'm gonna check this off because I'm looking at this to like stay on target. So we talked about prep. We talked about like, just for me, 8 lessons. And you know what? I mean, you could do 5 days a week, We just do 4 days a week. So I just prepped. And let me tell you this. I did not, like I said, prep this a month in advance, but I am definitely planning to do it when I purchase level 2. But what I ended up doing was I prepped just 2 weeks at a time. And so that, we started school, our homeschool, and then right before we started, I prepped like those 8 lessons, right, to get us rolling. And then maybe when we finished that Monday, our first lesson, or maybe that Thursday when we had finished our lessons for the week, I went ahead and prepped another 8, and I just kept prepping it 8 and 8 and 8 until I got it all done. And it was low stress. It was pretty simple. The only thing I didn't like about that is there's something mentally to do. Like, that you still need to finish prepping the curriculum. You're not done. Like, there's a task lingering, and I don't like that. So that's why I will definitely take that time for level 2 and get it like at least a month ahead, read through it, prep it, all that good stuff. Okay, so we talked about that. We talked about how long that takes. Roughly like an hour, 1 to 2 hours. And then we talked about like it's so open and go once you do that. The next thing we'll get into is plan. So what I did with this was like I had a rough like handwritten curriculum calendar or schedule, like what we were going to be focused on each day and how long. The thing with this is this curriculum, it's marketed as a complete curriculum, which I love. They only focus on language arts. They have another spelling, we'll get into that. But language arts, phonemic awareness, all that kind of stuff. It's not like we do everything, right? Like they're really specific, so I feel really confident in the reading, you know, I feel like it's complete, it's not missing anything. I'm fully aware of what's going on, and like I already, you know, have, whatever, I'm rambling. But when it comes to plan, so they give you this cute little level 1 progress chart that starts, it'll tell you like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all the way to 53, and your kid puts the stickers. Right now we're on lesson number 37. But what I did with this is because it goes to completeness and not by grade level, so my kid is 5 and this is his first year in kindergarten homeschool. It doesn't say like, oh, this is kindergarten, or, you know, or first grade, or this at this age the child will be da-da-da. It's to completeness. And so pretty much I imagine if you have somebody that's like 10 years old and needs to start learning how to read, and you purchase this curriculum, you could pick up with them. It's not like it doesn't focus on any kind of age. So with that being said, it's not really telling you, you should be done with this by this time. It doesn't do that. It's just like, do it your 20 minutes every day, do your read alouds, consistently until it's done, pretty much, until it's complete, and things like that. So I kind of wanted to know so that I will be able to gauge when we'd be starting level 2, get a feel for, is this kindergarten, is it first grade, things like that. And so what I did was, there's 53 lessons. So I thought, okay, in a perfect world, if we did 1 lesson per day, 53 days, that would take us, I think that was like a month and a half. And that was not realistic, but I wanted to know what it translated into 53 lessons. Or it might be realistic for some kid out there. I'm not gonna, get on anybody, like be like, no, whatever. 1 lesson a day, 53 days, approximately 1.5 months. If you did 1 lesson a week, 53 lessons, 53 weeks, that would take you approximately 12 months or a year to finish. And then if you did 2 lessons, because 1 lesson takes about 20 minutes, but some of the lessons, like for the first 2 weeks or so, my kid was able to do like 2 lessons in a day because they were pretty simple. But around lesson 20, 25, 27, they start to thicken up because there's more reading. And so sometimes because your kid is like new at reading and they're practicing and they're having to reread for comprehension as well, they may not get that whole lesson done in that 20 minutes on that day. It might turn into like, so what I put here, what if you do like 2 lessons a week? So when I did that, 2 lessons a week takes approximately 25 weeks, which was somewhere around 6 months. So what I told myself was, okay, we're only doing lessons 4 days a week. We're not even doing them 5 days a week. So somewhere in between 4 months and 7 months is where you could be finishing this. And what I would honestly do is I would write, like, honestly, lesson 1 and 2, we did both those lessons in 1 day. I would literally write the date that we were doing each lesson, while we were doing it. Some lessons, they have 2, so I don't know what number that was, but it was like September 25th and the 24th. We did that lesson. Most of them were like one day per lesson. Some were 2. Honestly, the ones that had more reading took us 2 days. And so it just helped me to gauge, when are we going to be finishing this? That way, if God forbid something happened and we weren't able to do, or we aren't able to do, first grade homeschool, I know where my kid is. I know when they'll be finished. I know if I need to get a tutor or something to like fill in the gap. I just wanted to be able to know when we'd be done, what that would look like, and then not in those worst case scenarios, is what if we can't homeschool? If we do and we're successful and all that, I just need to know so that I'm not like, oh, this is the last lesson. Oh, I haven't even purchased level 2 yet. So I wanted to be able to gauge it so I knew when to purchase level 2 and give myself that month of a grace period to prep it. We do plan on doing year-round homeschool, so there wasn't this fixed thing in my mind of like, okay, in June, we're going to be finished regardless, and then I'll have the whole summer. No, we plan to just kind of keep going all around with some soft weeks, with some breaks here and there, but nothing like just a huge chunk of time off. I'm kind of terrified of that. But anyway, so that's kind of how I did the plan. Obviously, I have it written down, 20 minutes a day for the reading and language arts, but to get to the nitty gritty of planning out this curriculum, that's honestly what I did. I used their sheet and I just wrote down the days that it took us to do each lesson. I say anywhere from 4 to 5 months, 6 to 7 months. You know, things come up. You're taking your Thanksgiving break if you take a full week like we did, your holidays, your Christmas and Thanksgiving, your Christmas and New Year, stuff like that. Your what else, depending on what other time you're maybe starting this, like your spring breaks and stuff like that. That's why I say it could be up to like 6 to 7 months, or as close as, you know, 4 to 5 months if you're doing 5 days a week with this curriculum. And you know what, they might honestly have something on their website to where you can go. Maybe there's frequently asked questions. If you go to AllAboutReading.com, to where people have asked that question and honestly probably put in a more like a truer gauge on how long it's taking most kids for certain ages to finish it. There honestly might be some information like that on the website. I felt like I was on their website for quite a while, but when I was there, I was mostly looking at the curriculum and like getting things like that. So I don't think I spent too much time looking at if they had a calendar. So that might be something else if you're really interested in this. We're gonna go into price, because price is a big deal. It's something you got a budget for, or maybe not, but it's something to be in the know of. Now this comes in probably like all together somewhere in the neighborhood of like $180 to $200, and this is why I will say that. I believe at the time I purchased this, which was summer of 2024, the level 1, which is, so everything I have in these 2 binders, and I have another video like when I unbox it to where it'll show everything complete. So it's like honestly one of the very first videos I posted on this channel. But in these binders is the student activity book pretty much. And it looks like this. The student one kind of looks like this. It's not spiral bound because I did take it and get it spiral bound at Office Depot. But the student one looks blue like this. It just says student activity book or something like that. Those perforated sheets are now in here in my sheet protectors and cut out and all the things. So the level 1 came with that, the teacher's manual, and then your readers. Okay, and that was, and then the flashcards I believe was also in there. I believe that was like $150 or like $170 for like the level 1. Now the add-ons were this box to keep the flashcards organized, and I think I have a video on that. Like in my first one I kind of show you, but yeah. So it doesn't come, the flashcards come in the level 1 curriculum. This box is separate. It was like $6 or $7, and I honestly purchased it. So I ordered all of this, and then I kept thinking about it. Should I get the box? Should I get the box? Or should I do my own makeshift? And I was like, you know what? This is brand new for us. I want to leave as less to chance and as less things floating around in my head to think about and try to put together a makeshift. This is like $7. I just got it, but I had to pay the shipping on it. So like, make your decision and save yourself on shipping. But the flashcards already come with the curriculum. So this box only comes with these little tabs, which is very handy because otherwise you'll have to like write them out yourself, which I'm totally fine with the DIY and the cost save. But cost save, time save, you got so much other stuff going on when you're trying to, you know, teach your children. Okay, so I was like, let me save myself some time and energy. And it also comes with these little foam squares. It's perfectly measured. There's not like any extra moving. Nice little lid, you know, all the things. So this was an extra $7 to our already, I'm just gonna say like it was $170. So then you add this, like $177, and then the other thing is you will need letter tiles. Now, we ended up going with the physical letter tiles. As you can see, they came in a little bag. Did those come with? No, it was a separate purchase, and I want to say they were like $17, maybe like $17.99, something like that. So yeah, we got the physical ones. You can also purchase their app, which I guess does this, but you know, so just look at yourself. If you're a techie person that's got like your calendar and all your things on your Google Docs and all that, like Google spreadsheet calendars, and you're techie like that, then probably what's gonna work best for your family is their app. But if you're like to write things down, scratch things off, a little bit techie, but a little bit, you know, like grew up in the 90s or something, or before, then you might like, or you know, if you're just a special, you might just want to do the physical ones. And I honestly like this because I feel like we get to work with it and build the words and like touch it and all that. And I'm sure the other one is just as fine because you probably move with your finger and all the things. And there might be some cool features on that. Either way, randomly on, this was a separate purchase. You can choose if you want it on the app or if you want the physical ones. And I think they're somewhere around $20. But yeah. And this, you don't purchase the magnetic board on the website. You'll have to either have one. So I had a calendar that I just was like, I'm just gonna repurpose and used, or you would have to go buy a whiteboard. So that would be an additional cost if you went with the physical letter tile. So that's why I say all in, you probably are looking at about $200. Now, I don't know the price of every curriculum out there, but I did see one very important review left, and that was, I think it was a dad that was homeschooling his kids, and his comment was, you know, we used a bunch of other reading materials and reading curriculums and all these things that were less expensive than this curriculum, only to find that they had like a lot of holes or just gaps. They weren't a complete reading curriculum. Something was missing, only to have to go and spend money on this. So imagine spending the $200 for this and then whatever the price of all those other things that you tried before you got this. Who knows? You could be up into the $400 or $500 by the time you find something that works. And so with that, I was like, you know what? His comment was, you know, like, it would have been better for us to just spend the money, like bite the bullet and spend that money on this curriculum than to try all these things. You have time, energy, and money. So with that, with my reviews and looking it up and going online, I was like, let me just spend the money and save some time. And I have not been disappointed. I feel that it is a complete curriculum. Now, I have not been a like English teacher or anything like that. I've just, you know, gone through the school system, gone off to college. And so I have that background level of knowledge on like how words come together and sentence structure and phonemic awareness, as well as we originally started with Teach Your Child to Read in 100 Easy Lessons. And I did a little video on that where I kind of talked about some things on that video as well. I think it was like my second or third video. With that, I will say it was cut and dry. You know, black and white, literally, and I liked it. It was straightforward. There wasn't a lot of frills or distractions. It wasn't very expensive. I want to say it was like around $25, and I got it off of Amazon, but it picked up pretty quickly. And so around lesson 40 to 50, I was able to notice that, well, the blends, I understand the blends and how they're teaching, but it just feels like something's missing. Like we're not talking about vowels, we're not calling it this or that. And so with that little bit of experience helped me as we're doing this to feel so much more confident, because the pieces that I felt like I was missing in the other curriculum or in that other teaching book, I feel like I get now. However, that book did help us with just the basics, like blending those initial sounds and the alphabet and help making it an easier transition for my child, I believe, when we got to this. Because what I will say is they have level 1, but they do have, which we're doing, they also have a pre-reading curriculum before you start this. This is not the first one that you start with your child. But I feel like that to teach your child to read in 100 easy lessons, we got up to like lesson number 80 or something around there. And it really prepared us for this. So I don't know much about the pre-reading with All About Reading. I imagine that it's just as wonderful as this is, but I feel just as confident with what we did. Now, the last thing, which is pretty important, is like the practicality, functionality of it, how we're using it. So like I stated earlier, we do homeschool 4 days a week, Monday through Thursday. This curriculum says in the teacher's manual to take 20 minutes a day, and that's how long we take, unless my kid is like, oh, I want to finish the story, or like the first week of lessons, you know, they were pretty simple from what we had already done. So he was so like just eager to do more because the activities are so fun and you get to use your fingers and there's colors and you know, it just feels fun. So, but it only says 20 minutes a day. You can do more, but we do 20 minutes a day. We do 4 days a week. that's how we're using it. Now, for us, we use it mostly in the morning times. We do our homeschool probably anywhere between 9:30 and then 11 at the latest, just if we're just like dragging our feet or had something else going on or whatever. But it's normally morning time when we use this. We do this for about 20 minutes, and it also highly suggests doing your 20-minute read alouds thereafter. And I will tell you, I started off really strong doing our 20-minute read alouds. Probably around month 4 doing this, we kind of slacked off. We weren't doing 20 minutes. We were just doing like maybe a story or something like that together, and then my kid would read some Bob books and things like that. But we picked back up with that because it is really important, because I feel like, and it even suggested in the teacher's manual, that when your child watches you read, you know, and your pace and how you say a word, and left and right and comprehension and all those things help. It makes it easier for when you're teaching your child, because the pressure's off of them. They get to watch and listen to you read and all these things, and they're picking up on other things that you might not have the time to teach, or maybe you have the time to teach, but they just get to pick that up, you know, reading from left to right, and the cover of a book, and the story, and the plot, and the climax, and the main character, and all those things. So the 20-minute read alouds with this as well. Where? Oh yeah, because I wrote down like practicality, like when and where. Where we use this, we homeschool most of the time at home. Now the location changes up. At first we were sitting at our tables when we first got started homeschooling. Now we kind of just have our blanket out, and we kind of just sit our blanket out in like my kid's room right now. And I'll get like the electric blanket because it's colder weather, and we'll just get cozy and like get our books and sit down and kind of make it more fun. And I've honestly found that the more relaxing the environment, less distracting, like there's not a lot going on, not a lot of TVs and radios and stuff going on, less distracting for sure, but cozy. It's more comfortable, and we just enjoy the lesson. I'm less stressed on like, okay, let's get this done, and my child is more relaxed and comfortable. So we mostly homeschool at home, and the more relaxing and comfortable the pillows and the blankets, the environment has been, the better for us. Now we have done reading or done our homeschool in other places, like the zoo for instance, and I know that sounds wild. We kind of sat like the cafe area during a weekday. The traffic was low, and that was honestly fine, and it was really a nice incentive because we had like and it wasn't like pet the penguins, but it was like more education or close up with the penguins at our local zoo, and it was starting at like 2 o'clock or something. And so that was really a good incentive to like be in the environment of the zoo, like, okay, we're gonna get this done because we don't want to miss the penguins, something like that. What I didn't like about it is that it was outside and there were bugs. So for the most part, we do our homeschool at home, but I honestly have seen other people do their homeschool at like little play areas, the library. So who knows, maybe as we venture out and feel more confident, we'll change up. Now, what my son feels about this, I wanted to share this because it is complete curriculum like it says, and it really doesn't have an age on it, but just to kind of give you some ideas, because you're clicked on this video to find out more about the curriculum and reading and what it looks like, and you know, trying to imagine like how your child is going to take to it, and you want them to be as successful as they possibly can, but also to have an enjoyable experience. And that's exactly why I feel so confident in this. But my son, I know he loves this curriculum, and I say that because the activities, they are engaging without being distracting. The stories, they've got pictures, which they can be distracting. So in the beginning, we would put little sticky notes, but now he's excited to read me a story. You know, the pictures make it exciting for him. And so the activities, the pictures, holding up this book and holding it himself, and I think it just provides that sense of accomplishment and things like that. So I know he's really enjoying it. My daughter, who's 4 and doing like preschool, kindergarten adjacent work with me right now, when she watches him, she is like wanting to do his lesson. I'm kind of starting her with the Teach Your Child to Read in 100 Easy Lessons, just because I did like how it slowly, calmly introduces blends and the sounds to your kid. But she's like eager to do his reading lesson. And so even though that's another thing when it goes back to price, even though this curriculum is a little bit more, like you're gonna pay more for it, it's open and go. You don't color anything, there's no writing on anything, and so I can easily pass this on to my daughter. I think we will purchase another flashcard box because I wanna say in level 2, your kid might need one as well. And so I just want them to have their own. But anyways, I know that he enjoys it. I can see that she's eager and ready to enjoy it. And the way I feel about it, I feel that it is complete. Just like I said, from things that I've read and from our previous experience in knowing that, okay, my child can blend and yeah, they are reading, but where's the rest of this? Where's the understanding? Where's the vowels and the consonant teams and just the in-depth like information so that I'm refreshed? Because although I know how to read, I want to be able to educate my child on vowels, what they mean, consonant teams, and all the other rules that go along with English language. And I felt like even though we only did that previous book, I was able to see quickly that, oh, you know, some things can have a gap. And so I really appreciate this just by how it lays it out. Before I open this up sit down with my kid, I can open it up and have a good understanding on like what we're doing. I enjoy the activities because though the sounds don't really change that much, you know, the activities do, and they're very fun and very engaging. And don't give me anything boring, okay? Like don't give me black and white either. Like look, this page even just has colors. It's like colors like the letter tiles and things like that. And it's got like a cute little character, which is Rocket the dog. And so he talks or has little sentences that you can read out loud to your child. And I kind of make mine like a little competition. Like, oh, Rocket's got this for you. Can you know, how are you gonna do the next lesson type of thing. Makes it like a challenge. Okay, so the curriculum comes with lots of activities that you can manipulate and like flip through readers and the books and all of that. But they also have a huge appendix where there's so many other games and ways for you to make your phonogram cards and word cards fun for practice. And so I really like that. There's like a snowball fight where you can kind of like stick the word cards up and your child gets these wadded up papers and throws them, which we've done that. Really enjoy. There's one called Feeding the Monster that you cut this out, can put it on a cereal box, and they can slide the cards in there as they read them. Very, very fun. But what I'm going to say is I really appreciate these little boxes here. They're normally in this like blue hued color, but it'll have like a little finger with a ribbon on it, and it says, don't forget, your beginning reader, your beginning student isn't expected to read through the practice sheets in one sitting. And it has a picture of the practice sheets because they come in some of the lessons. It says, many students will still be at the stage of sounding out many of the words, and that can be tiring mental work. Stop before your student fatigues. You can always continue tomorrow. There are so many sweet reminders in there like that, and maybe they're not sweet, maybe they're like serious and you know, whatever, but I find them sweet, encouraging, and informative because as a tutor or homeschool parent, and which is another reason why I created this channel, there's so many questions you have, you want to do it, there's maybe some adjacent communities around you or people that you know, but for the most part, you're not like in a facility getting inundated with all this information. You're having to hunt for that information and provide it to your students and so, or your children. And when I get these little reminders, it's like having a senior teacher or someone here with me to remind me about like where my child would be or what's common, or you know, don't fret over this, keep practicing, things like that. So I think that about wraps it up. Let me know if there's any other questions you might have about this reading language arts curriculum. We definitely are planning to do the All About Reading level 2, and right now we are on lesson number 37. We probably have another 2 months to go, so I think that'll put us at about 6 to 7 months with this curriculum. I didn't originally account for like the Thanksgiving break and Christmas and New Year's break, so that's going to put us at about 6 to 7 months. But we plan to start with the level 2 in the spring, and so yeah, it's been working really good for us. There are days to where it's a little more challenging. We take a deep breath, we do our 20 minutes. When that's over, we either keep going if he's interested in that, or you know, we close it up and work on it tomorrow. It's definitely not very stressful. It's very fun. I really enjoy this. I hope that this has been very helpful because I know that feeling of like wanting to find the best educational information out there that you can like afford, that you can confidently teach to your child and see them grasp that. And this is not anything that anyone gifted to me or it's a promotion. Obviously my channel is like smaller right now, but either way, this wasn't gifted. This didn't come from anyone. You know, this is just research that I've done, and I feel really, really confident in it. Another thing I will say is our aunt is or has been a career teacher for kindergarten through first grade for, I believe, like all of her career. And something else, and so we chat a lot about curriculum because I'm homeschooling new territory, and homeschooling is like not anything she did, but she has knowledge of like small learners and like what they're expected to know and what they're learning at different ages. And so I do get a lot of feedback from her. Another thing is on Teachers Pay Teachers, there are some like sample reading paragraphs to where it'll tell you kindergarten, you know, it's alphabetized, I think letter A through J. And so you can print those off if you want to get an idea of where your kid is in the kindergarten or first grade. Just like I said, extra side note. But anyways, thanks so much for watching today's video. I will see you in my next one. Good luck in your homeschool. Let me know if you have any questions. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. See you later. Good luck. Bye.